Outlander lead actor Sam Heughan is overwhelmed by fans' support in a heartfelt message he shared lately. What exactly did the actor do that his fans showered him with support? And what other things has he been doing as of late? Most importantly, what other news do we know about Outlander Season 7? If you're curious to know more about these topics, then stay tuned to know the latest. First up, in a touching statement, Sam Heughan expressed his gratitude to his fans, saying he was overwhelmed by their support. Last May 28, Sam Heughan sent out a touching message to his followers, thanking them for their overwhelming support for his latest charitable project. On May 22, the actor took part in Gentleman's Ride, a global motorcycle event organized by the Movember Foundation to raise funds for prostate cancer research and men's mental health programs. The actor reflected on the cycle, which took place in Edinburgh, on Instagram. He wrote, "Throwback to last week's Gentleman's Ride. A huge thank you to everyone that sponsored me for this great cause. There's still time to donate if you can." Heughan also wrote in the caption and wrapped it up by saying he's overwhelmed by the support and very thankful. Sam's appearance comes just over a week after the trailer for his upcoming television project was revealed. The 42-year-old is set to star in Channel 4's upcoming 8-part thriller, Suspect, which follows veteran detective Danny Frater, played by James Nesbitt, who arrives at a hospital mortuary for what he believes is a routine ID check, only to discover his estranged daughter Christina, played by Imogen King, who appears to have committed suicide. The official synopsis of the thriller read, "He is forced to confront his own feelings as a father, whilst struggling to make sense of a mass of contradictory testimony and circumstantial evidence, and he must decide who, if anyone, is responsible for Christina's death and what he's going to do about it." While nothing is known about Sam's role, we do know that he is portraying an Englishman because in the trailer, his character can be heard stating, "Don't go sticking your nose into things that are best left well alone." In other news, fans of the actor are gushing upon hearing that he will release his first ever memoir later this year. In March, Sam Heughan spoke a frenzy among his admirers when he announced that his first ever memoir would be released later this year. And now he's ratcheted up the anticipation by revealing that they'll be able to meet him up close and personal when he makes 2 in-person appearances in October to commemorate the release of his new book, Waypoints. The Scottish actor announced that an evening with Sam Heughan will take place on October 23 at McGowan Hall in Edinburgh, Scotland, and on October 24 at the Barbican in London, England. In the caption, he stated that he's celebrating his new memoir, Waypoints, in Edinburgh and London. He also invited his fans to join him for an evening discussing the book and his visit to the Highlands, which he described as a great evening, and said he was looking forward to meeting everyone in person. He also announced that the festivities will be streamed live across the world for anyone unable to attend. Naturally, his fans were overjoyed and raced to congratulate him on the news. Waypoints will be released in October and follow the Outlander actor's 100-mile journey into the Scottish Highlands. The synopsis reads, "With the rugged West Highland Way as the backdrop to the narrative, Sam writes a love letter to the wild Scottish landscape that means so much to him, full of charming, funny, wise, and searching insights into the world through his eyes." The actor has confessed that he embarked on the journey to challenge himself, noting that Waypoints is a memoir unlike any other and that he wanted to share the events and experiences that have shaped him. But to do so, he needed to push himself and spent some time alone, away from the distractions of daily life. And there's no better location for him to contemplate than Scotland's rugged Highlands. Now, let's get to the exciting part. What do we know so far about Outlander Season 7? Based on recent posts from the show and the cast, we know that Outlander Season 7 is filming as we speak. While Season 6 was still airing, it was announced in April 2022 that filming for the following season had already begun. Fans noticed Catriona Balfe and Sam Heughan back in costume filming in Scotland, prompting the announcement. Aside from filming, we also discovered that the majority of the cast will return to reprise their roles. For the new season, all of the key cast members are scheduled to return. So in addition to Sam as Jamie and Catriona as Claire, Sophie Skelton will reprise her role as Brianna, Richard Rankin will play Roger, John Bell will play young Ian, and Caesar Domboy will play Fergus, and Lauren Lyle will play Marcelly. Given that the Christie's plot isn't nearly over, it's likely that Mark Lewis Jones will reprise his role as Tom and Alexander Vlahos will reprise his role as Alan. But what is the plot for Outlander Season 7. Because Season 6 was cut short owing to coronavirus issues and was scheduled to be 12 episodes long, the new season will likely continue to dramatize the events of Book 6, A Breath of Snow and Ashes, as there are still plenty of narratives to go. Season 7 may focus on the events of Book 7, An Echo in the Bone, given that it will be the longest season ever with 16 episodes. The new episodes will most likely follow up on the tragic Season 6 finale, providing answers to the core question of who killed Malva and why. Despite the busy filming schedule, Sam Heughan took the time to pay tribute to his Outlander co-star in recent news. As he pondered on one of their most heartbreaking scenes together, Sam Heughan paid respect to his co-star John Bell. Young Ian, played by John Bell, opened up about his time with the Mohawk and the tragic losses he endured in Season 6. The young man told about his horrible experience on a visit to the Cherokee with Sam Heughan's character, Jamie. Sam paid thanks to co-star John and his amazing portrayal in the episode Hour of the Wolf. The sequences with young Ian where he reflects on his life with the Mohawk are very touching, according to the actor. He went on to say that it was a powerful, vibrant tone and that Outlander never fails to amaze him. Heughan believes that in the said episode, they saw Jamie and Ian truly bond. Working alongside John Bell as Ian is fantastic, according to the actor, who said they're given these gifts of scenes that are very emotional and tender. Meanwhile, John commented on the show saying that young Ian's tale, which they eventually get to see in episode 4, is one of absolute joy, celebration, and delight, as well as a full and utter tragic loss. As much as it's touching to hear Sam Heughan gush about one of his co-stars, there are several questions that we desperately need answering in Outlander Season 7. We've returned to Outlander after another spectacular season as we wait for Season 7, which isn't anticipated to run for at least another year. We've been guessing what might happen in the following episodes to pass the time, and these are the key questions that have been plaguing us since the Season 6 finale. Will Claire be found not guilty of Malva's assassination? Season 6 finished with Claire in a Wilmington jail cell and Jamie on the verge of being shipped back to Scotland in the last episode. Young Ian and the Mohawk were able to save Jamie thanks to their intervention. But what about Claire? She's in a lot of trouble after being suspected of murdering Malva Christie and having some very compelling evidence against her. After all, she was holding a bloody scalpel in her hand. Will Jamie be the one to save Claire, or will she be aided by another character? Will the Frasers return to Lallybroch? Some perceptive viewers have noticed that the cast and crew have been filming at Midhope Castle on the outskirts of Edinburgh, which serves as Jamie's ancestral castle, Lallybroch, suggesting that Jamie, or at least someone, may return to Scotland this season. Will the Frasers return to their homeland? Is this to say that some of the characters we left in Scotland, such as Jenny, Ian, Loughair, and Mrs. Fitz, will return? We certainly hope so. And the last question for now, will Brianna and Roger travel back in time to the 20th century? When Jemmy was old enough at the end of Season 5, Brianna and Roger attempted to journey back through the stones and to their own times. And now that they've announced they're expecting a second bairn, we can't help but wonder whether they'll try again. The two have long stated that they do not belong in the 18th century, and the possibility of returning to the future was brought up again in the Season 6 finale. So may they find themselves collecting jewels to travel once more? With that, we're wrapping up today's video about the latest news on Sam Heughan and what we know about Outlander Season 7. If you have theories on what will happen next season, share them with us in the comment section below. Before you go, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to our channel and the notification bell on. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again next time.